Hello, everyone. Welcome to Universal English Guide, where learning English is simple, clear, and enjoyable. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Liam. Hello, everyone. We're really happy to have you here today.
How are you doing today, Liam?
I'm doing great, Sophie. You know, I just had the most interesting conversation with my neighbor this morning. We were both checking our mailboxes at the same time, and we got into this really deep discussion.
Oh, really? What were you two talking about?
Well, his son just graduated from high school, and he's trying to decide what to do next. Should he go to university and get a degree, or should he learn a specific skill like coding or graphic design? It's such a big question these days.
That's a really important topic. I think a lot of people around the world are asking the same question. Skills or degree? Which one matters more?
Exactly. And honestly, I think the answer isn't simple. It really depends on what you want to do with your life and what kind of career you're interested in.
That's so true. Let me share something with you. My cousin decided not to go to university. Instead, she learned web development online. She took courses, practiced every day, and built her own portfolio. Now she works for a big tech company and makes really good money.
Wow, that's amazing. So she didn't need a degree at all?
Well, in her case, no. The company cared more about what she could do. They looked at her portfolio, gave her a coding test, and hired her based on her skills. They didn't ask about her degree.
That's really interesting. But I also know people who needed degrees for their jobs. For example, my friend wanted to become a teacher. In most places, you can't teach in schools without a teaching degree or certificate.
Absolutely. Some professions require degrees. If you want to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, or teacher, you usually need a degree. It's not just about skills in those cases. It's also about meeting official requirements.
Right. So it sounds like the answer to skills or degree really depends on your career path.
Exactly. Let's think about this more carefully. What are some jobs where skills matter more than degrees?
Well, I think creative jobs are a good example, like graphic designers, photographers, video editors, writers, and social media managers. For these jobs, employers want to see what you can create.
Yes, they want to see your work. If you're a photographer, they'll look at your photos. If you're a writer, they'll read your articles or stories. Your portfolio shows your skills better than any piece of paper.
That makes sense, and I think tech jobs are similar, right? Like web developers, app developers, and digital marketers.
Definitely. Tech companies often care more about what you can do than where you studied. If you can build a great website or solve their problems, they'll hire you. Many successful programmers are self-taught.
That's really encouraging for people who can't afford expensive university education. But Sophie, let me ask you something. What about jobs where degrees are absolutely necessary?
Good question. As I mentioned, there are professions where you legally need a degree. Medicine is the biggest example. You can't just learn surgery from YouTube videos and start operating on people.
That would be terrible and dangerous.
Exactly. You need years of medical school, training, and certification. The same goes for lawyers. They need to study law, pass exams, and get licenses. These are regulated professions.
What about engineering? My nephew wants to be a civil engineer.
Engineering is interesting because it's somewhere in the middle. Many engineering jobs require degrees because of safety and liability issues, but some engineers get jobs based on their practical experience and certifications.
So it's not always black and white.
Not at all. The job market is changing. Let me explain something important here. In the past, having a university degree was like a golden ticket. It almost guaranteed you a good job. But today, things are different.
How so?
Well, first of all, more people have degrees now than ever before. So a degree alone doesn't make you stand out. Employers are looking for something extra. They want to know, what can you actually do?
Ah, so that's where skills come in.
Exactly. Even if you have a degree, you still need practical skills. This is really important for our listeners to understand. A degree shows that you completed a program and learned certain things, but skills show that you can apply that knowledge in real situations.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Let's say you have a business degree. That's great. You studied marketing, accounting, management, and so on. But when you apply for a job, the employer might ask, can you use Excel? Can you analyze data? Can you create presentations? Can you communicate well with customers?
So the degree got you in the door, but the skills determine if you actually get the job.
Exactly. You just summarized it perfectly. The degree might help you get the interview, but your skills help you get hired and succeed in the job.
That's a really important point. So it sounds like the best approach is to have both.
In many cases, yes. If you can get a degree and also develop strong practical skills, you'll be in the best position. But here's the thing. Not everyone can afford university, and not everyone needs it.
Right. University can be very expensive, especially in some countries.
Absolutely. In the United States, for example, university tuition can cost tens of thousands of dollars per year. Many students graduate with huge debts. They spend years paying back loans.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
It really is. So some people are choosing alternative paths. They're learning skills through online courses, boot camps, apprenticeships, or on-the-job training. And many of them are doing just as well as people with degrees.
That's good to know. What advice would you give to someone who's trying to decide between getting a degree and learning a skill?
Great question. Here's what I would suggest. First, think about your career goal. What do you want to do? If you want to be a doctor, lawyer, or teacher, you'll need a degree. There's no way around it.
Okay, that's step one.
Step 2, research the job market. Look at job postings in your field. What are employers asking for? Do they require degrees, or do they focus more on skills and experience?
That's smart. Check what's actually required, not just what you think is required.
Exactly. Step 3, consider your financial situation. Can you afford university? If yes, great. If no, don't worry. There are other options like scholarships, community colleges, or online learning platforms.
What about step 4?
Step 4, think about your learning style. Some people thrive in traditional classroom settings. They like structure, lectures, and having professors guide them. Other people learn better by doing. They prefer hands-on practice and real projects.
That's a really good point. I never thought about learning style as a factor in this decision.
It's important. If you're someone who learns by doing, you might be frustrated in a traditional university. You might do better in a coding boot camp or apprenticeship where you work on real projects.
So there's no one right answer for everyone.
Exactly. The right choice depends on your goals, your finances, your learning style, and your chosen career. Let me share another story. My brother wanted to work in construction. He didn't go to university. Instead, he became an apprentice with a construction company.
What's an apprentice?
Good question. An apprentice is someone who learns a trade or skill by working with experienced professionals. They get paid while they learn. My brother worked alongside experienced builders, electricians, and plumbers. He learned everything on the job.
That sounds like a great way to learn.
It really is. And after a few years, he became fully qualified, and now he runs his own construction business. He has all the skills he needs, and he didn't need a degree.
That's awesome. But I imagine some people might face discrimination if they don't have degrees.
That's true in some industries. Some employers still use degrees as a screening tool. They think if someone finished university, they must be smart and hardworking. It's not always fair, but it happens.
So how can people without degrees overcome that?
Great question. The answer is prove your value. Build a strong portfolio. Get certifications in your field. Gain experience through internships, volunteer work, or freelancing. Show potential employers what you can do, not just what you studied.
So it's all about demonstrating your abilities.
Exactly. Let me give you another example. My friend wanted to become a social media manager. She didn't have a degree in marketing or communications, but she started managing social media for small local businesses for free. She built their followers, created content, and showed real results.
And that became her portfolio.
Yes. After 6 months, she had an impressive portfolio showing her work and the results she achieved. When she applied for paid positions, she showed this portfolio. Companies didn't care that she didn't have a degree. They cared about the results she could deliver.
That's such a practical approach. I love it.
Me too. And this approach works in many fields. If you're a graphic designer, create designs. If you're a writer, write articles or stories. If you're a coder, build websites or apps. Your work speaks for itself.
Okay, so let me try to summarize everything we've talked about today. Some jobs absolutely require degrees, like doctors and lawyers. Other jobs care more about skills and portfolios, like tech and creative fields. And some jobs are in the middle, where both degrees and skills matter. Is that right?
Perfect summary. And remember, the job market is always changing. What's important is to keep learning, whether through formal education or self-teaching. The people who succeed are the ones who never stop improving their skills.
That's great advice. So for our listeners, the message is don't stress too much about choosing between skills and degrees. Think about what you want to do, research what's required, and then make a choice that fits your situation.
Absolutely. And here's one more important thing. You can always change your mind later. If you start learning skills and later decide you want a degree, you can go back to school. Many universities accept older students, and if you get a degree first and then realize you need more practical skills, you can learn those too.
That's so true. Education isn't a one-time thing. It's a lifelong journey.
Exactly. Whether you choose skills, a degree, or both, what matters most is that you keep growing and learning. Stay curious, work hard, and don't be afraid to try new things.
Well said, Sophie. I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today. Before we finish, let's do a quick recap. Skills matter a lot in today's job market. Some careers require degrees, others don't. The best approach depends on your goals, your finances, and what you want to do in life.
Perfect. And remember, no matter which path you choose, practical skills will always be valuable. So keep learning, keep practicing, and keep improving.
Absolutely. And to our wonderful listeners, thank you so much for joining us today on Universal English Guide. We hope this conversation helped you think about your own career path.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. We create new English lessons every week on topics that matter to you.
And we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment in English telling us, do you think skills or degrees matter more? What path are you choosing? Share your thoughts with our community.
Also, if you found this helpful, share it with your friends who are learning English or thinking about their career choices. Learning is better when we do it together.
Keep practicing your English every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. You're doing great, and we're so proud of your progress.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, your future is bright, no matter which path you choose.
Take care, everyone. See you in the next lesson.